Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So we're moving on with the next in the defence witnesses in the Casey Anthony trial, and the first witness up is a really quick one, and it is Sergeant John Allen with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and he's talking about some videotapes that were given to him from Mr. James Hoover. So he has two videotapes from James Hoover from the 18th of December 2008. Another videotape from Mr. Hoover from when they interviewed him on the 7th of January 2009, and he was asked to bring these in. The cross-examination, Mr. Hoover is associated with someone called Dominic Casey. Dominic was an investigator for Byers at the beginning of this case, and he then later started to work for the Anthony family. Dominic was with Byers from July 2008 to early October 2008, and because there was a falling out, he then went to the Anthonys in November. Mr. Hoover came to their attention because he was trying to sell the videos to the National Enquirer. So now the next witness is private investigator James Hoover. So he first got involved in this case in July 2008 as a private citizen. He doesn't call himself a PI, he calls himself a private citizen. He says he provided services of a private investigator for George and Cindy, and this began in August. James went and volunteered his services to George, which they obviously accepted. Primarily, he kept the people that were harassing them away and was pretty much like a bodyguard. He also helped with following up with tips, which he did in conjunction with Dominic Casey. He knew Dominic had worked with Byers and that there had been a falling out, and James only followed one tip with Dominic. That tip was on the 14th or 15th of November 2008. There's a bit of a discrepancy with the date, but it's more or less on the 15th. James met Dominic at his office at about 8:15 a.m. and they left and went to Suburban Drive. They were originally supposed to go to Orlando to provide security for George and Cindy at a meet and greet. Now this meet and greet, I'm like, what? Why are they doing a meet and greet? Because to me, meet and greets, for meeting idols or, someone you've wanted to meet for a long time, to go along and say hello. So I'm kind of like, why were they doing a meet and greet? So they went to Suburban Drive to look for Kaylee. He says she was supposed to be in the wooded area, deceased. They videotaped the search, not all of it, but most of it. The video was made approximately 1 month before Kaylee was found, and Dominic was aware he was being recorded. Now please bear in mind, this is what James is saying and not what Dominic has said, as you will see in the next testimony. So now they play the recording, and initially they worked the length of Suburban Drive and they were looking for 3 pavers. So this first clip is of Dominic in the woods on Suburban Drive. The next is Dominic looking around a lot, or what looks like an abandoned building or house, and he's opening black plastic bags that are outside.
No. This is I guess probably about 2 or 3 blocks away, just on the other side of the fence. If you went in a direct line.
And he says they were looking for Kaylee's remains. They then went back to the wooded area where Dominic was before.
Plastic bag right here.
So now we move on to the next day's recording, because they went back again, and they went back to the wooded area but went in a bit deeper this time. And the next clip shows Dominic probing the ground for remains. It's just a long metal pole that he was just pushing through the ground to see if it hit anything. And then they go back to that abandoned house where Dominic is probing again.
What is Mr. Casey doing with that rod?
He was probing, thought her remains might have been buried.
On the 11th of December 2008, after they found out that Kaylee had been found near where they had been looking, they did not notify the police of these recordings they had made, because initially they didn't think anything was on it, and James had thought he'd videotaped over it with his son's Christmas parade. So he's asked about how much the Anthonys trusted him, and the Anthonys trusted him greatly. He was part of their inner circle, but he did try and sell a video to Fox News. And he says that Dominic was broke and the Anthonys were broke, so he was going to give the money to the Anthonys because he didn't need it. So now James is saying it wasn't the video but the photographs he was trying to sell. So it all kinds of gets mixed up. I mean, the top and bottom of it is he was trying to sell something for money. He is asked if he tried to sell the video for $50,000, to which he says no. Someone told him what they thought it was worth, which was $200,000. He says he didn't make any money off this video. The cross-examination, and he is asked again about this video, and Mr. Jane Burdick says he was in fact holding out for the highest bidder for the video. He denies it, of course, but they obviously have got this information from somewhere. And he is asked about trying to secretly film the Anthony family to capitalise on it, but again he strongly denies this. I mean, the impression I got of this Mr. Hoover, he talks extremely fast. He's got his guard up, which obviously is understandable, but you know, the state have got these rumours from somewhere, and obviously if you're trying to sell things about this poor family to get money, then what does that say about you? So I'll be back with more in another video, so until then, bye for now.